number 6 is you ask, what should I invest in during this market crash? Well, the answer is always my real estate fund. Look, my real estate fund has been in business for 11 years. When we started it in 2009, the market went down. 2010, 11, 12, it stabilized. 13, 14, etc. It went up. I have always paid on time 8%, which is a magic number. I mean, people stay in the stock market 30 years to average 8% and compound it. Well, guess what? With me, I am diversified. So, and I'm diversified because I'm set up for stress tests, like what's happening now, or when the market pulls back. And when people invest as little as $25,000, the money is cross-collateralized against all the assets we have. So there is a huge safety factor. There is cash flow 8% per year that gets paid out or gets reinvested, whatever the investors want to do. The money compounds. If they get it reinvested, you compound it for 20 years. Your average yearly rate of return will be over 18% if you reinvest the money. I've had many people reinvest the money, and in the past 11 years, I mean, they more than doubled so far, and it's going to then quadruple, if you will, in the next few years. There is liquidity with private real estate funds. Sometimes you get stuck for 5 years or 7 years. With mine, you can cash out with a 12 months notice. I always have reserves. I can take accredited, that means high net worth people, and non-accredited, that means people that are without high net worth, not $1 million net worth. I can take what's called sophisticated investors. So that's, of course, I'm biased. I can tell you I set it up for my investors, for my family, for my students, and that's a great way to invest. If you think you're going to invest because the market crashed and you're going to go into the stock market and all this, that's fine. Just have a long-term outlook, because nobody knows what's going to happen in the next 90 days or 6 months. But I can tell you in the next 10, 20 years, maybe 30 years, the market is going to go up because the American economy is phenomenal and nobody bets against the US economy. It just takes a while to average it out for you to come out ahead. You're with me on this? Good. So you had also asked, what are your thoughts on this advice my family been telling me? I should follow the money first. Once I'm financially stable, I can chase my passion. Well, you know, there are 3 levels to making money, V. There are 3 levels. Number 1, you work for the money. So you're working in a company, you're working, you're getting paid, and you're making them money, right? So you work for the money. Level 2, now you've got some money, so you work the money. You buy and sell things, you're growing the money, right? You work the money. Number 3, the money works for you. So you work for the money, you work the money, and then the money works for you. Now, if you focus and follow the money in a certain career, let's say like I started in hospitality, I was in the hotel business, and you make the money you hope to make, and you move up and you start making more money, most likely you'll become passionate about that, and you will get even better with what you're doing, so you can now afford to do side gig that excites you more. But I can give you an example. I interviewed this lady one time to be an accountant, part-time accountant for my syndication. It was in San Francisco. And she was in her late 40s, and I looked at her application, and every job she had was 1 to 2 years. So I asked her, I said, hey, what is going on here? Why do you keep moving around? You were in accounting, then you started CPA, you worked for a CPA firm, then you went for a law firm, then you went to a bicycle shop to put parts together. I said, I don't understand what you're doing. And she said, I was trying to find my passion. And I said, oh my God, I mean, all your life? She said, yes, I can't figure it out. And I asked her, if you had to do your life over again, what would you do differently? And she said, Cherif, I would have stuck with one job, build a career, I would have had the money, and now I would have been able to afford to do something on the side and discover my passion. But I had to make the money first, which I didn't realize. So my answer to you is, you can do both. I mean, passion is an intense emotion, like a compelling enthusiasm or desire to do something, right? And if you're gonna go make money with something, and you start making money with it and you get good at it, most likely, you're gonna start becoming passionate about it. Not everybody likes real estate in the beginning. It's a lot of negotiation. It's a lot of doubt. You're constantly trying to get loans, build credit. It's never enough and all this. But as you get good with it and get results, you get better. It becomes a game. And you become more creative with it. And that's when you realize you shouldn't take it too seriously and you can enjoy the game. That, of course, I'm passionate about real estate, but I'm telling you, in the beginning, it was hard. It was very stressful. Once I realized it's a game and I shouldn't worry too much, my game improved, my results improved, and I became more passionate about it. Then I decided to teach others so I can relay my passion and my experiences and make their life a bit easier. You got that? Good, good. Any comments on that?
No, didn't make sense, yeah.
Okay. And your 8th question was, is it true that there is no such thing as loan or funding with no personal guarantee? Yes, it's true. There are no personal guarantee loans, and they're called non-recourse loans, but then you will have to put a large down payment. And while the bank will not go after you personally if something goes wrong because there is no personal guarantee. When something goes wrong, they will actually take the asset. So you will be wiped out. So here is what happens. If you want a no personal guarantee loan, let's say on $1 million, they're going to ask you to put 30% down payment, $300,000 down payment. And they're going to say, we'll give you $700,000 loan with no personal guarantee. That means if something goes wrong, we'll just take the asset. Well, you lost $300,000 down payment. So can you get it? Yes, you can get no personal guarantees. Of course, now that the market has changed and there is always changes in the market, the banks may be asking for 40% down payment. Maybe they will say there is, for you haven't done this type of loan. We need your personal guarantee anyway. The second one will give you the no personal guarantee. But it does exist. It just requires a few different criteria. You got that?
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. You asked me number 9, before I join any program, what are the things I should look for so that I won't get scammed? Okay. There are actually specifically 6 things you need to look at. As a guy who has been teaching for 21 years and sold programs and delivered programs nationwide, even internationally, I've done a few, there is a formula that I use. For you, for instance. The way to join a program without getting scammed is, number 1, ask yourself, is the program taught by the guru himself or herself, or is it taught by somebody else? Okay, I teach all my own programs. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second, I'm sorry. Who is this number? 4006.
My God.
Oh, stop.
No, it's not my God.
Okay, so somebody keeps calling and I'm just handling that. All right. So ask yourself, number 1, is the program being taught by the guru or someone else? Number 2, will you interact with the guru or some support line when the program is finished? You see my point? Number 3, do they have video success stories? Not just like some letter, oh, this person took the class, her name is Victoria B, and you don't have even the last name. Or is it an actual video success story on what people learned and how they felt about the training? Because that's the most important part. If people at the end of the training say, I learned a lot, this is very applicable, I can get results with this, that's phenomenal. You're with me on this? And number 4, will the process and system work in different markets at different times? Or is it actually not working at all times in all markets? You see my point? So in other words, is it evergreen? Because some people teach something that says, this is for the market right now. Well, no. I want to learn something I can apply in any market at different times. And then number 5. Number 5. Is your success aligned with the success of the guru, or is there a conflict of interest? You see, sometimes the guru says, I'm going to teach you how to do this and you can do it on your own and we'll give you support. No. I want something that when I do, with the person who is teaching me, we both benefit. So they have their interest and my interests aligned, so they're going to work with me. I mean, imagine if your university professors could be reachable for many years afterwards, and you can email them or contact them and get them to support you and direct you, and they can benefit from your success. How involved will they be? That's phenomenal. And then the last point is, you need to ask yourself, am I willing and able to pay the price in spending the time, the focus, the commitment, the effort to follow through? Because if you're not, and everybody's saying, this is a great training, and you see all the videos and the guru saying, come with me, you're going to do this, you're going to assign it to me, I'm going to put the money right here, and we're going to do it together. But you're not going to spend the time or effort. Save your money. Don't do it. So I'll repeat the 6 bullet points. Ask yourself, is the program taught by the guru or someone else? Number 2, will I interact with the guru or some other support line when I'm done? Number 3, do they have success stories by video where I can see similar people have taken that program they're talking about and enjoyed the training and said that they could get it done? Because the rest, whether they got it done or not, is depending on the individual. I know I'm going to commit the time. So, number 4, will the process or system they're teaching work in different market, like different locations at different times? Beautiful. Number 5, is the success story aligned with my success be aligned with the success of the guru that's going to teach me? Because if the success is aligned, that means I have to find specific properties for them to do this, or I have to use their proof of fund to do that, and they want it because they need to deploy the capital. Oh, okay, then our success is aligned. Then I'm not going to get scammed because they're the ones teaching, they're putting their time, their effort, their money on the line. They want me to succeed with them. And the final point is self-reflection. Will I really commit the time and effort to do this, or I'm going to go spend the time or the money and then I'm not going to follow up because life gets in the way. So unless you're going to schedule time to apply what you learned, really nothing much is going to happen. And this is the formula, by the way, I used for me. I teach my own live trainings. Unlike any other guru, I am the one who goes out to teach. I'm the one who does the advanced trainings. That's why I don't do that many live trainings and I don't do that many advanced trainings. I'm the one here. I am on the phone with you. I didn't assign it to anybody. I have many, many qualified people that have been with my trainings, etc. I take the calls. I want to interact with people. I enjoy that. And I make sure my interest, my success is aligned with the success of the students. Actually, their success is my success. So I just make sure that they're willing and able to spend the time and effort. So, cool.
What was number 3 again?
Number 3 was, are there any video success stories on what people learned and how they felt about the training? I want to hear it not now from the person trying to present to me, hey, come to my training, I'll do this and that. I want to hear it from the people who took that training. And people can come up and say, we just spent a full day, or we just spent 3 days doing this, and we learned this, and now I feel this way, and I can do that, and I can get it done. Okay, I like that. I want to hear who took the training. These success stories and these endorsements are very, very important. For example, I have over 2,000 video success stories. They're videos. You see, it's not some anonymous, like I've been to a presentation and they wanted to set up like some trust accounts and the lawyers were saying, yeah, I can do this and we've done the training, come to the training, it's $5,000, it's unbelievable. And I asked them, do you have any success stories from people who actually were able to set up the trust account like you're saying after that 3-day training? And he's showing me a letter with somebody's name, Victoria.B. What is that? It's a letter. He could have wrote it at home. I'm not saying he did, but how much more powerful if this Victoria person would have actually gone on a video and said, I just finished the training and this is what I got from the training and this is how I feel about it. And you can right away tell if they're happy or excited. And if it's not just one video, I want a bunch of videos of how they felt about that training. You see? Because, and even more powerful when you see more videos of people saying, I made money doing this. But you can, like I always tell people, I can bring you 100 videos of people, which I have them online, people saying I made money, changed my net worth, etc. But does this mean that you are willing and able to spend the time and effort to do the same thing? Because these people did. You see my point? Good, good. All right. And Number 10, which was your last question there, you said, should I lease or buy a car? And how about a house? Well, in my suggestion, my opinion, you should lease a car because the payments are usually, if it's related to business, the full payment is tax deductible. Not just the interest portion, but the full payment is tax deductible. And in case of an accident, the insurance pays off the entire debt. If you own the car and there is a, God forbid, a car accident, the insurance will negotiate the value of the car and they're going to depreciate from this and that and pay you so much. They don't care how much you owe, it's your problem. But when it's leased, God forbid something bad happens, the insurance literally pays off the lease. Just gets you out of it, which is great. And at the end of the lease, you can make a decision. You turn it and go get a new car, or you just get rid of it. It's just a certain payment, and a lease works out usually much better, especially if you can negotiate something that makes financial sense. A lot of leases, my nephew had gotten a car in Infinity, literally brand new, with less than $200, and all the rest was monthly payments. So it was amazing. And he kept it for 3 years. And that's it. When he returned it and walked away, 0 problems, brand new car, and he was going to college, so it was very good. So regarding a house, my suggestion is you may want to start with like a duplex. So you live one side, rent the other side. You can do that with a 3-plex or a 4-plex. You live in one, rent the other units, whatever you can afford. Usually, because you're going to be using it as a personal residence, you can put a lower down payment. You may even get away with just a 10% down payment. In some programs, you can put as little as 5% down payment. The key thing is, once you put that little down payment, you're able to get a good long-term loan with low interest rate. And the rental from next door helps you pay down the debt. It's a very powerful way to start. And eventually when you want to move, you can move out, rent that second unit, and then go get your own house as your life expands. If you don't like a duplex, you can get what's called the mixed-use building, where downstairs is commercial and upstairs is residential. So I have plenty of buildings like this. And what happens is the commercial downstairs is a longer-term lease, so there is stability, and you go get the loan saying, yes, there is commercial and it's mixed use, but I'm going to live upstairs. So usually they give you a more favorable loan because you're actually going to rent upstairs, live upstairs as owner user. So if you can't afford to buy a duplex or a mixed use building, my suggestion is to start by leasing with an option to buy. That's another great way to get in. So you can do a master lease. You can tell an owner of the duplex, look, I'm going to do a master lease. I'm going to pay you so much. I'll collect the rent from next door and I will pay you. This way you can improve next door. You can increase the rent. You can do whatever changes you want. And you have an option to buy. If you don't want to do a master lease, you can just do a lease just for your unit with an option to buy the property and negotiate the price and lock it in now. You see, now this is a good time to do that because the market, supposedly some people are afraid and maybe they can't make up the payments and whatever. So you can tell them, hey, listen, I know you're behind on payments. I will bring your payments current, but I want, and I will make the payments monthly, but I want an option to buy the building for X price. And I want that option for, let's say, 5 years. Try to negotiate 5, usually you'll get 3. But let's say you can do 5. And you want to say that portion of your payment will go toward the purchase price. So let's say your payment is, I don't know, let's say $2,000 a month. You're going to tell them, if I exercise my option to purchase within the next 5 years, I want 50% of my payment to go toward the purchase price. So let's say you got the deal for 5 years, so 60 months. You actually, on the 60th month, if 1,000 of your 2,000 payment goes toward the purchase, you just put 60,000 down payment. And the property that was worth, I don't know, 300,000 is now worth maybe 400,000. So you have 160,000 of equity. You see my point? And you're able to get a loan for the difference and cash them out. So a lease with an option to buy is a great way, especially when you're expecting the market to go up. And if the market doesn't increase, you can walk away at any time you had to rent anyway. And if you run your own business from home, your lease payments could be deductible. You see my point? So I want to go back to if you actually got the loan and purchased the property, locked in a low interest, put a small down payment and got a loan. Get the loan for as long as possible. Some people say, should I get 15 years? Get 30. Get it fixed. The interest rate is so low right now. And in the early stages, pay down your loan so you can eliminate the PMI, the payment mortgage insurance that you have to buy. You can actually you can eliminate it by paying down the debt so you have more equity. And then you can just take the difference of money and invest it somewhere to compound your results. Or you can invest it in my fund, MIXIF fund or SFI fund. And then you can eventually compound that and 10 years later just pay off your home and you have a home free and clear. And then get a credit line against the home to hunt for good deals to flip them, you know? So I answered. Go ahead. You have a question.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. So you said the duplex and stuff. Like, would it? Do you think it would still work if it's like a mansion and it has like 5 bedrooms, and I live in one room and I rent out the rest?
Oh yes, you can do that if you're willing to sacrifice. If you're willing to sacrifice your comfort to share the same space with others, I think you'd be much better off having a 4-plex if you can. But it all depends on where you're going to buy the property and what is the expected outcome of appreciation down the road, the stability of the income, etc. I mean, if you get, let's say, a triplex, so 3 units, up to 4-plex, you get a residential loan, so you can lock in the interest for 30 years. And what happens, maybe the area is nice and you can do a couple units as Airbnb and 1 unit as long-term rental. You see my point? Maybe you can eventually separate the units into separate condos, each one with a separate deed. It's called the segregation. And then you can sell them as individual condo units, townhouses. Sell 2 and pay off the other 2 downstairs, and then you can live on one side free and clear and have income from the other side, taking care of your basic expenses. My first deal, by the way, was a duplex that I split. I bought it for $300,000. This is 1989, and I split it and I sold each side. I netted $225,000. So I had an extra $150,000 in profit in less than 4 months. So it was just a very, very good deal in Solana Beach, California. You know.
Okay. What did you say about I think you said your nephew having an affinity, and like what was the outcome of him leasing that car?
I'm sorry, repeat the question. It's coming muffled a little bit. Repeat the question.
Oh, yeah. So, what did you say about, I think, with your nephew, that leases the Infinity, and what was the advantage of him leasing the car?
Because actually leasing the car, if in case of an accident, the insurance will pay off the actual debt immediately, and he will just go get another one. Number one. Number two, with the lease program, sometimes you have to put very little down payment. He put literally $200 on a payment that was $350 per month, and so the advance was just $200, and his payment $350. He could afford it, and 36 months later, he went and returned the car, and just moved on to get another car that he can actually upgrade. So it was just perfect, and for 3 years, he had no issues whatsoever with the car. And some cars even come in with some maintenance included, and it's still under warranty. So you have such a great way to start. If you own the car, if you purchase the car, and God forbid there is an accident, the insurance will negotiate with you how much they will pay you because of depreciation each year, etc., etc. So it makes it a lot harder to work that out. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm coming back to the last question. So the last question, I know that you said that you prefer like duplex and stuff. I want to know if it's true that a mansion that is so big, their depreciating value is much different than other regular homes because it is so big. It is considered like a commercial. Is that true?
No, it's untrue. It's if it's zoned as residential and it's used as residential, it is still depreciated as residential. If you're going to use it for rentals and all this, you're going to have to take a portion of the square footage that's being used for rentals and all this, and you will depreciate it over 27 and a half years. You know, it's not commercial. It's commercial residential, if you will. It's commercial use, but it's residential use. Like if you take an apartment building, you depreciate it over 27 and a half years. If you take some other type, like office buildings, etc., you depreciate it over a longer period of time. You're really, in the beginning, you're better off with the multi-units, like four units, 3 units, 2 units, just to get started.
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
All right, yes.
Because of the income.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's all the questions I have.
You're very welcome. And if you need anything, you know where to reach us. It was a pleasure talking to you.